Too often what we do is we hear about this 1%, that if we improve 1% each day, then we end up 30 times better by the end of the year. And that concept's easy to understand when we put it through that mathematical model. But I don't think people articulate well at all what it means to improve 1% each day. And I'm going to do that now. I'm going to articulate what it means. And I can tell you this, it's a lot less than you think. It's a lot less taxing than you think. Meaning, flipping it on its head. You're being way too hard on yourself. Way too hard. Anecdotally, I think we're expecting 10% improvement or 50% improvement each day. And if we don't do it, then either we quit or we admonish ourselves or something else that isn't good. Adopting a continuous improvement mindset is a long-term thing. And so what we need to have the thinking that ensures it becomes a long-term thing, rather than the thinking that makes us give up on it after months or even potentially after years. The other thing that contaminates this thinking is the need to get fast results. Continuous improvement is like being in a bath and the bath is ice cold and you want it to be a little bit warmer at least, and you turn on the hot tap and it takes a little while for you to start to feel the heat come through. But when it does, it just gets warmer and warmer and warmer. And that's continuous improvement, and that's the 1%. So let me articulate what we're talking about when we say the 1%. Okay, so say one of the things that you're looking to improve to make life easier, simpler, or to perform better, and those are the big three things I think we should be applying, the reasons why we're applying continuous improvement and that mindset to our lives. To make things easier, to perform better, and to make things simpler. That's it. And then with that, you free up time and you can use your time how you need, and some of us need downtime. Okay, let's go a couple of steps back. Let's talk about this 1%. Okay, so for some of you, myself included, so if this is you, this is me too, I look at the nutrition. We look at the nutrition we take in, and we want to improve our nutrition. Too often, I think what we do is we look at it in a binary way. We either ate clean or we didn't. And each time we didn't, we go through a pretty negative mindset. We admonish ourselves, we're disappointed in ourselves, we might make rash decisions. Some of those rash decisions are self-sabotage. I've done this much damage to myself, I might as well go the whole hog. I've finished half the chocolate bar, I might as well finish the whole thing. You know, all that sort of stuff. So if you know what I'm talking about, then you've lived in my head, I've lived in yours. And if you don't, that's fine, that's great. Going back to that 1%. So we have this binary sort of mindset at times, like I was just giving that example, eating half the bar, might as well eat the whole bar. But what 1% might mean is even those days where you eat the whole bar, if you're a little bit more sick and tired of those decisions that you make, that could be your 1%. That could be your 1% improvement. That you're getting closer to starting to walk away from some of these things, or starting to get more control, or starting to get more discipline, or eating cleaner is becoming more important to you. That 1% shift might be in that mindset, not what you've eaten, but that mindset. And that's the key thing. Now, you have to be honest with yourself. You don't want to be on that same circle each day and go and say to yourself, I'm getting angrier and angrier about the food I'm eating. The nutrition I'm taking in is not what I should be. And each day you ramp that anger up by 1%, but the nutrition and what you're eating doesn't change, then all you're doing is gamesmanship. effectively just lying to yourself. And you're saying that's going to be my 1%. But that is completely redundant. But if you are eating the same crap every day and you're getting more and more sick and tired of it, to the point where each time that happens, you eventually stop at some stage, and hopefully at some stage soon. That means it is progressing. It is getting somewhere, and that can be your 1%. That's it. If you're stagnant, if you're doing the same thing every day and you're not reducing or changing what you're doing, or you're not changing the way you feel about what's being done, and this could go for anything. It could go for your relationships, how often you get angry, how often you get frustrated, how hard you're working because it's fallen into the too hard basket, the way you're eating, the lack of sleep. Could be anything. As long as there's a change, either in any of those elements where you're reducing the bad stuff, or you're increasing the good stuff, or your mindset is changing, that will eventuate to you decreasing the bad stuff and increasing the good stuff, then either way, those are your 1%ers. But if there's no change, so if you're in your mindset, so in terms of a physical change, in terms of those events, that's not happening. So then now we're depending on our mindset. If you're getting angrier and angrier, or more frustrated, or more sick and tired of being sick and tired, but that's not leading to a change, that's not part of the 1%. It's not happening. You need to find something else. Fortunately, that's on you. That is on you, and you know that. But the great thing is, it's on you. It's on you like it's on me. That's something we have got. That's an element of control. If we talk about eating crap, someone said to me the other day, because I was talking about the crap I ate over a weekend. And someone said, did someone hold you down and literally force that food down your throat? And I was like, no. And they were like, there you go. And I was like, yeah. I wasn't force-fed that stuff. So that meant I was making decisions. And that's where the power lies. And now what I understand, again, if we're talking about nutrition, and I don't want to hark on about this, the reason why I'm using it is for a couple of reasons. One, it's important to me. And two, I'm talking about an experience that I actually know. So translate it into your own world. But this is my own personal experience. But I know now the signs when I'm about to make a bad decision. So before, I'd just make a bad decision and I'd eat something. And when I say bad decision, I'm not talking about a couple of little squares of dark chocolate. I'm talking about I have a couple of squares of dark chocolate, and rather than asking myself, am I full? And answering, yes, I am, go and sit down on the couch and just chill, read a book or watch some TV, whatever. Some screen time, whatever. Instead of that, I wouldn't even ask that question, and I'd just go, I'll eat it a little bit more. So, okay. So the point that person made really well for me, and what resonated, is that I have the control to make the decisions. And then when I became aware of that, this is where I'm going with this, thank you for being patient with me, is I could start to hear some pre-incident indicators before I made the decision to eat more. So before it'd be, make a decision, I'd be like, stuff it, I'm gonna eat a bit more, it's fine, and then I eat more. I could start to hear, because I tuned in, things that were happening in my mind before that decision, like, hey dude, you've worked really hard today. You've had a big run, you need to fuel up for tomorrow, or something like that. So those became, some sort of minimization of what I was about to eat, or justification, or denial that it wasn't that bad. Rationalizing it. those elements became the pre-incident indicators before I made the decision and then subsequently ate something. So now I'm aware of those voices, and when they pop up in my head, I can deal with them a little bit earlier. And I think they do for everybody with anything. There's always an out or a cheat or a shortcut or just something to do with hedonism, where we just make a decision that we shouldn't make. And for all of us, it's a little bit different. It's a combination of things. It's either being lazy, or it's being ill-disciplined, or it's cigarettes or cigars or alcohol or recreational drugs, or it's a whole gambling, it's a whole porn, it's a whole myriad of things. But the power of the decision making, that resides with us. And that's really cool. The other thing too, and I've been really fortunate with this, is I know, what was that clicking before? That was me deciding whether or not I should say this. But no, look, I think it's insightful. I don't think anything bad's going to come out of this. But I know I have that personality where I can make really bad decisions. And because of that, okay, yeah, there's a big caveat there. But let me contextualize bad decisions. For me, it's like stuff I eat and stuff like that. I tend to be an all-in or all-out personality. And because of that, there's a number of vices I'll call them vices, whether they're vices or not. You label them however you want. But there's a number of things I've steered well clear of. For me, and this is just me. This is not me making a judgment on others or anything like that. But I've steered clear of drugs, alcohol, and porn, because I just know that nothing good's going to come out of those things for me. And because of the nature of my personality, I can get carried away with stuff. I watch way too much right now on YouTube. And I know that that's my personality. So there's been a whole bunch of things I've been able to just not touch, not go near, because nothing good is going to come from that for me. But that's that decision-making model. And that's the power we have. Okay, let's roll this all back to the 1%. And if you've made it to here, then, well done. Well done. And I so hope that there's one moment in this that's super powerful that makes life easier for you. So reframe this 1%. Or if that 1%, you've heard that 1% each day, but there was a void of understanding, then frame it. Don't be too hard on yourself. That's the worst thing that can happen. You are on the same team as yourself. Let me share one more thing with you, because I think this is super powerful. Know where your strengths are. So I shared with you just before where my weaknesses are, and I'm conscious of those weaknesses. But where my strengths are, where my superpowers are this. One, I'm super lazy. So if there's no junk food in the house and I'm dying for junk food, I know I will not get in the car and go to the nearest supermarket or convenience store or whatever and get it. I know I won't. I'm too lazy to do that. So that's brilliant. That's my superpower. So if the stuff's not in the house, I am golden, which means I've got to be on better behavior when I'm going over to other people's houses, or catering's put out at a convention or something like that. That's when I've got to be making real smart decisions. I don't need to make those decisions here in my home, because there's not stuff here and I'm too lazy to go out. So what is your superpower? My other one is the fact that I know that I've got a personality where I can get all in on things. And I've done that with great stuff, like going to the gym and running and stuff like that. But because I know I've got that personality, I've chosen to steer clear of some things. Again, a superpower. Never thought about dabbling in those things. Don't think I'm missing out. I know I'm not missing out. So those are my two superpowers. So what I need to do is continue to bring them into play. The other thing I tend to do, and this is going to sound ridiculous, but again, if you've been watching this video right through to this point, then I'm probably sharing it with the right audience at this point. The other superpower is if I feel like I'm being watched, like I'm setting a standard, then it's easier for me to be disciplined in that standard. So what I mean is, if there is something in the house, say there's a couple of ice creams in the freezer and I go, I feel like an ice cream. For some reason, I pretend that I'm on YouTube right then, live, and you guys are watching me. And then I'm like, I can't eat an ice cream and have people watch me because I said that I'm good with my discipline, so I need to prove it. And I'm not live, obviously. But that's the game I play in my head, and it works. It works for me. So pretending that I'm live, I'm broadcasting live, and that I'll be judged by others, that I'll be incongruent with what I've said and what they'll see me to do, that I'm too lazy to go down the road, and that I can make those high-level macro decisions about what areas to play in and what to not. Those are my superpowers. Now, what are your superpowers? Because you've got them. There's something you've got that is the reason why you do some things and not others. The differences between those two things, that's your mindset. In your mindset, something is going on in there, and that can become your superpower. And leverage it so you are on the same team as yourself. Please be on the same team as yourself. That's even a mantra I even say to myself. I'm like, dude, be on the same team. I know that sounds a little bit weird and it feels a bit clumsy to say, but that's it. Acknowledge you're on the same team. Have you help you. Have you help you. That's it. Come on. Just 1% each day. Don't be hard on yourself. Give it time. Be patient. You know what 1% means now. It might be a tangible change somewhere, or it might be a mindset change that's going to lead to a tangible change. But just get better each day, just little changes. Just breathe, just relax, sleep a little bit more, be on the same team as yourself. That's it. If you made it to the end, I thank you. I record these videos primarily for me. These are because what I'm sharing is things that have worked for me over the years and I want to continue. And so by recording these, it helps me continue to adopt and advance that behavior. But of course, I want to share them too, because there might be something in it for you. If there is, steal it, use it. Any questions, throw it in the comments. If there's some powerful stuff in here and you want to, just pay me back, just hit like, subscribe. Those two things, we're done. It's all even. By doing that, there's nothing else you owe me. Take care of yourself. Catch you in the next one.